Thank you for choosing our Patio Heat channel. I'm Steve. We provide tips and information to extend the enjoyment of your patio project. Our videos give you a knowledgeable overview prior to investing in your outdoor heating equipment. Whether you are a professional or owner-builder, we provide specific details for optimum heat coverage for your application. Post a comment or question, or for developed visual designs, send your request into designs@patioheat.com. We're here to work with you. For over 30 years, patio heating is the bedrock of our business, expressing what works best. Now let's get heating. All right, so we have this well-protected patio area. You can see that it has a screened-in section on this side. We basically have about 3 walls, a ceiling, there's a fan, there's a couple of recessed lighting fixtures in there. Over here, this is going to be a sliding door left to right, a sliding window. And there will be a door here that swings, I'm going to say outside, but if it swings inside, we're going to need to know a little bit more of the information as far as the width and section of the door where it's actually laid out, so that we know exactly where it swings in if it does swing in. This particular client asked a question in reference to flush mounting a unit. Now I'm going to take off the screens just so it's a little bit easier to maneuver through here. So let's just remove that for right now. Also, let's go ahead and show the overall dimensions first of all. Space itself is 16 feet by, I believe, 13 or 12 feet. I also have a ceiling height over here at 9 feet off the finished floor. I made the diameter of the fan at, I believe it's 42 inches in diameter. So what is that, 3 feet 6 inches? Yeah. And also I put the lights at 6 foot center to center this direction. They also said it was 51 to 52 inches from the inside edge to the inside edge, so I put that right around there. And yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. I did make this particular section over here approximately 6 inches tall, and yeah, let's go ahead and see what we can do. Now first, what I want to do, let me turn off the dimensions here. The first thing I want to do is actually look at the top of this section over here. Now this is something I am not aware of, but what I want to talk about is the actual situation itself, whether we can or cannot put heaters going parallel with these ceiling rafters, I'll call them. You can see that I have the ceiling rafters going this direction, then I have a main beam here, and I put this main beam in this position just for a possibility of it being there, and that could be an issue. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see if I can move it out of the way for a second. But if we have the ceiling joist in this dimension or this direction here, can we put some flush mount units in? And there's 2 different flush mounts that I kind of like for this installation height. This is the actual 4,000 watt, which they are inquiring about. And what I want to show is the distance that I have between each other. Now you can see there is an issue with exact distances, and if the ceiling joists are not placed in the exact position, then that might be an issue. But let's go ahead and show what that dimension or distance might be. Give me a second here. And so I'm going to go from center point here to center point here. And by the way, the ceiling joists that I've added, I have them at 16-inch center, and they're 10 inches tall. They need to be a minimum of 8 inches tall for the clearance section to meet here. But yeah, you can see here I have it 7'2". The reason why I have it at 7'2" is because there is clearances that we need to meet below the heater itself. Those clearances are 18 inches from any combustible material. So if this fan blade is physically a combustible fan blade, we need to stay 18 inches from this edge of the blade to the edge of the heater itself. Now you can see that I don't have the ceiling cut out for that purpose yet, but the placement is going to be what we truly recommend. Also, you can see that we have this seating position here. And this is the types of seating that they have in their photos, but they also said there might be a change, most likely a change, I should say. And we'll go ahead and just change that out to a table. But let's put the ray on here and see how this coverage will actually work in either of these situations. I'm also going to take off the ceiling for a moment so we can kind of get an idea of how that footprint of heat is going to look. With the WD 4000 watt dual element heater, you can see that the coverage is going to be fairly decent. The primary footprint of heat is going to be from this point here where you see this little angle shape here to this point over here, and then there will be heat that comes out a little bit further. This is infrared light waves. Infrared light waves does bend and stretch as it travels away from the physical appliance itself, so it's going to bend and stretch and dissipate as far as its intensity the further it travels away from it. So you can see that the ideal height of this particular model is about 8 feet off the finished floor, and so we're missing about 1 foot. And should that be okay? In this particular application, I would say yes, because of the fact that we have such a well protected space. You know, we have the 3 walls, like I said, the ceiling, and the reduction of air movement throughout the patio based on the fact that there are screen sections going in here. And so yeah, this would be a good application. And again, just the only thing I'm kind of concerned about is the exact location of these ceiling joists. I mean, you're going to have to either push it out to the left or place it where it's at, or in the same situation it'll be over here, push it out to the right, or at least give that 18 inches minimum clearance to that fan blade. Now, if the fan is changed out into a steel blade fan blade, then you can move it a little bit closer, but I still would not make it so that the heat itself is penetrating that fan blade if it's aluminum, let's say, because if it is aluminum, then you will have some issue down the road with it bending and things of that nature. So that 18-inch clearance is ideal, but you can move it a little bit closer to a non-combustible item. So let's just say that in this situation here, where we might have to move it slightly over to the left here based on where these true ceiling joists are, then we could do that if in fact this is non-combustible. I want to put this back down, and let's go ahead and just move this down here for a minute. And what I want to talk about is, you know, would that be a problem if there is a beam that comes across in an area like this? Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is there have been several clients that have run into a situation like this, where there's a steel beam, maybe even further inside, and then all of a sudden the application can't be done. So this is something that you really would benefit on checking before you start opening up your ceiling itself to see whether or not this could be the application itself. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn these off and turn on these flush mount 5200 watt units, which are 48 inches long. So the other one are 33 inches long, I believe, and these are 48 inches long. So if this was the case, it also might be that issue with regards to, you know, the beam itself being here, if that is in fact the case. Obviously, this is also another situation where, you know, the light itself would be in the way, and so, you know, you could move the light over, since you're opening this area up anyways. You know, maybe move the lights over to the right on this side and left on that side, and put the hotter unit in here. The 5200 watt unit is a lot stronger. I shouldn't say a lot stronger, but you know, it has more intensity so that you can enjoy longer periods of time I'm also going to just show you the seating area again, just so you can see how that might be effective with these heaters, the place in the location that they're at. So you can see that in either type of seating position, this would work fine for either style of seating. So we have the seating position and then the table position like this. You can see that we're heating up the majority of the space. So I would say that this would be a very good application. Also just note that these 5200s are the same distances away. The only big issue that I saw, like I said, was the fact that the light fixtures themselves in the ceiling are possibly in the way based on that 52-inch distance that I received. So all right, last thing I want to show, give me 1 minute here. I'm going to put that ceiling back on and pop the other heaters. Oh, I also should show you one other option, and that's if this isn't going to work based on the ceiling joists and positions, etc., then maybe we should do something like this where we take a let's see if I have it here. Yeah, let's put this, take these distances off. Let me remove this flush mount here and then go ahead and put this W series. These are W4024s, so these are a little bit longer in their distance, and the actual distance that I have on these from center point to center point, these are attached to the ceiling, and I actually have them at about a 15-degree angle, but from center point to center point on the units themselves, we have that at 10 feet with a 15-degree angle. Maybe a 10-degree is all you need, especially if you're having a sitting position like this where you're closer to the outer edges of the wall. Then that 15 or 10-degree or even maybe 7 degrees tilt, so 7 degrees from straight down up would be more ideal for something like this. But yeah, these are WDs, 4,000 watt. They're wider. The footprint is wider as well. And let's just pop that ceiling off here for a minute. And you can see it is actually not showing the true distances on the left and right. But for this application height, it's really designed for something like this. As far as the 9 feet off the finished floor, the heater itself will be approximately 8 feet, and yeah, that would be another option. So I want to go back to the flush mount. These are the WD 4024s, 39-inch long units. And what I want to show is with the ceiling here, let's pop that in here again, and kind of what I would recommend. I'm going to turn off the clearances here, and what I would recommend as far as the footprint, or excuse me, the I'm going to push this up here. Give me 1 minute here. I'm going to go up here about 8 inches, and then I'm just going to push this to here, bring this over here, and then all right, so what I wanted to show is if you were going to do a finished flush mount finished unit, you might want to have the ceiling tongue and groove boards come down over the edge of the heater itself, because it's going to end up looking better. I'm going to go ahead and just move this down here so you can kind of see the comparison of the finished type and what that would look like. So when you have it finished like this, it looks a lot better in my opinion than having the flush mount frame bolted to the ceiling as opposed to the ceiling bolted on top of the edge of the frame. The only thing is that you need to make sure you have at least a 1/2 inch of clearance from this vent hole to any type of combustible here. And then also, if you're going to do something like this, you need to lower the heater, which there is a bracket that allows you to do this. But you need to lower the heater so that it is at the same elevation as these boards themselves, so that you are still maintaining that 18 inches of clearance to combustible material on all 4 sides of the heater. So yeah, I wanted to kind of point that out as well. But yeah, this would be a nice application right here. It would work terrific, and also the other ones I show would also work very nicely, but this would probably be, you know, the better of the 3 that I showed. So all right, well, I hope this has helped. If you are looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you would like us to review your plans, send your information into designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve. Please, if you would, tap that like button. It really helps our channel out, and we really appreciate you all doing that. As well as go ahead and make a comment. If you have a question, feel free. That also helps build our channel as well, and we truly appreciate that. Thank you very much. Have an excellent day.